Hello, driver ed students. This is Miss Roth today. We're going to be going over Chapter 13, Handling Emergencies. By now, you should have already read Chapter 13, so this should just be reviewing and helping you go forward to complete the homework that is due on Friday. You got the homework last week, so you should be ready to go. We're trying something a little bit different today where I'm going to do this in sections instead of just one straight through. So I hope this works out and it's nice for you. So without further ado, here is Chapter 13, Section 1, Vehicle Malfunctions. We've talked a lot about the fact that in order to avoid most vehicle malfunctions, you have to properly maintain your car. And we find out about proper maintenance of our car by looking in our owner's manual. Okay, sudden malfunction creates an emergency. Be prepared to reduce your own risk. And just look at your owner's manual. Look at what your scheduled maintenance is, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in further chapters. Big thing that we talk about, the lifeline of our car, is tires. We know that tires wear more quickly because people don't maintain them. They stop suddenly. You guys are new drivers, so there's a lot of sudden stops, a lot of sharp steering. We go over bumps, we go into potholes, and again, something we know about our Oak Park streets are they have a lot of potholes. A lot of construction going on. If you don't balance your wheels, you don't rotate them properly, all of these things can affect your tires. And sometimes you may have a blowout if you hit a pothole, if you haven't done any of these things to maintain your car. So a blowout's going to occur when a tire loses air pressure suddenly. You fail to maintain them. And then what's going to happen? That tire blowout is going to pull in the direction of the tire that just blew out. The worst is going to be that front driver's side tire because you're going to pull into where? Oncoming traffic. Left front tire, and that's what we're talking about in there. What can you do to avoid that? You need to grip the steering wheel firmly, ease up on the accelerator, do not slam on the brakes. Okay, we've talked a lot about the fact that stopping is not usually your best defense, especially when you have a tire blowout. You want to try to get out of the traffic situation, to regain control of the car. And that's a lot of what we're going to be talking about in this chapter anyway. Turn on your hazard flashers. Tell people you know something is wrong right now. And then if you watch the homework already, there is some videos on changing your tire, but first of all, you need to find a safe place. Okay, you've gotten yourself out of traffic. You have your hazard flashers on. Find a safe place and look in your owner's manual to help you out. It's going to guide you through the whole entire process. Okay. Replace or repair that flat as soon as possible. Make sure every car should come with a spare tire. For a while, they were doing full-size spares, but it seems most are back to a compact spare. So the car is going to come with a compact spare, and then it's going to come with a jack that also duplicates as the tire iron for you. Compact spare, a lot of times we call them donuts around us, or 50-50 tires. That means you don't drive over 50 miles an hour for more than 50 miles. They're just not meant to do that. You need to take it to a service station, a tire station, or you call AAA or whatever roadside assistance you may have if you're not comfortable doing any of this by yourself as well. If we have brake failure, that can be really scary. Stay calm. All of this requires you staying calm. First thing you should do is try to re-engage the brake. Pump it 3 or 4 times. Go into a lower gear. Once you're slow enough, then you go ahead and you apply that parking brake. Realize that a parking brake is not going to just stop the car if you're going 30 miles an hour. It's just going to break off. It's like a kickstand for a car. So apply the parking brake when you're 10 miles an hour or slower. Search for a safe place to steer towards. Last resort, rub those wheels against the curb to reduce your speed. And then something else we talk about with brakes is brake fade. They can overheat. Again, you're new drivers, you might brake too much, you might brake too hard all the time. If you're continuously braking too hard, they can begin to overheat, called brake fade. To get it back, stop the car, let it cool. Just like you, sometimes you're getting a little too hot, you need to just cool down. If they get wet, which we'll talk about some wet conditions, you're going to keep your foot on the gas pedal and lightly apply your brake pedal in order to dry them off, creating that friction, that heat to dry them off. Make sure you've tested them after you've left the water. Make sure that they're dry and they're doing what they need to do. Another scary thing that happened to me when I was about your age was engine failure. Okay, again, stay calm. A lot of times there's very little warning that your engine is going to stop. Okay, the vehicle can still be steered with a stalled engine, but again, try not to just slam on the brake, because if you have total engine failure, you slam on the brake, you're not moving again. So you want to shift to neutral. Neutral is going to disconnect the engine from your tires. Okay. Try moving out of traffic with your hazard flashers on. Again, do not brake. Try to restart the engine while you're moving. Your car can restart when you're in neutral. Okay. So you put it in neutral, you try to restart the car. If it starts, go back into drive and proceed. If it doesn't start, move off to the shoulder, the curb, whatever you can do. Steering is going to be harder when power is lost by engine failure, because you're also controlled by your power steering. Okay. Now, we've talked about railroad tracks, and if we stall, if a train is approaching in either directions, get out of the car. Okay. Get away from the tracks. But you don't want to run away from it. You almost want to run towards the train and away to the side, because all the debris is going to go forward. So you want to run towards and away from the train. If it's not approaching, try to restart the vehicle. Again, you can start the vehicle in neutral if you need to, but you can try to restart the car. If not, put it in neutral and push that car off. If you have passengers, makes it a little bit easier because you have more manpower, but you can try to push it off yourself if that's what it comes down to. Okay. And then another scary thing is total steering failure. Now, I just said we have power steering. So when the engine goes, that power steering goes. Power steering is just going to make it harder and more difficult to turn the wheel, but you put a little muscle in it and you're good to go. Okay. Tell people you have no steering, horn, flashers, communicate with people. This time, don't use your accelerator, okay? Braking can cause you to skid. Hold the parking brake release and use a quick on-off action with your park brake. You're just trying to steer yourself to a safe place at this point. But again, Power steering going out is not total steering failure. You just have to put a little muscle to it. One of my favorite things to talk about is loss of forward vision. If you lose your forward vision, that can happen when your headlights fail, the hood flies up. That's the one that I laugh at. Or your windshield gets splashed with dirt. Okay. Your driving view, everything is obstructed at this point. Turn on your wipers. Okay. Try to get the dirt off. If your headlights fail, turn on a turn signal, move to the right shoulder. Okay, there are all different kinds of lights, and just because your full headlights have gone out doesn't mean that your signals have gone out, doesn't mean your flashers may be there. Put on your parking lights. A lot of you have automatic headlights though. So if that's going on, just try to figure out which one will give you some light. Okay. You might need to replace a fuse. You might need to replace the bulb. There are a lot of different kinds of bulbs now. Some of them are going to be a little bit better. Back in the day, you only had a single latch system on your hood. Okay. With that single latch system on your hood, occasionally it would fly up. Okay. You can look through the little bottom corner and go somewhere safe and push it down. In general, with newer cars, they have a double latch where you pop it from the inside and then you go underneath the hood and release it from there. It just depends. But again, most of you are going to have a double latch and not have to worry about your hood flying up when you're doing it. Okay. Another thing that I think is always interesting to talk about a little bit is vehicle fires. Okay. Most vehicle fires start in your engine. If your car suddenly starts to smoke, quickly steer the vehicle off the road to a safe place. Get out of the car. Get at least 100 feet away. Do not open the hood. It will go boom, because you and I know that oxygen is going to fuel the fire. If your car is on fire, do not go to a gas station. It will go boom, big boom. Okay? Do not go to a gas station. A lot of times, a passenger fire is caused by a careless smoker, matches, anything like that. It's not going to just spontaneously light on fire the inside of your car. Okay. A lot of things will restart. Just please try to be aware of some of these things that can happen. Okay. Now I'm going to stop right there. Couple things also to note: an overheated engine is going, we know, and we've talked about on several occasions, overheated engines need to be cooled down to the best of your ability. If you still have to keep moving a little, then what do? You turn off the air conditioning and turn on the heat, blast it out the heat to try to get the engine compartment to cool down. Thank you guys. That was 13.1. And we'll be back for 13.2 shortly.